Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and I want to talk to you tonight about chronic pain and fasting, and how fasting can really truly help you guys that are dealing with pain, even if it's episodic pain. I really am seeing this not only in my clinic, I'm seeing it, I'll share a story, a personal story that's going on in my family. I've seen it with my colleagues, that fasting has this analgesic, anti-inflammatory effect that can really help those of you that are dealing with pain. So what I want to do today is not just explain to you why that works, but I also want to bring you the science and point you in the direction to really understand this at a deeper level for yourself. So let me start off with this. I just got done putting thousands of people through my 15-day metabolic reset. And there were some really huge ahas that I saw putting so many people through this reset. I think the first aha was how many people were stuck with weight loss that really broke through that when they did the 15 days of cycling, the 7 different fasts that I teach mixed with the ketogenic diet. So for another video, but if you are one of those people wanting more weight loss, I really encourage you to try this 15-day reset. Just put 15-day reset in the comment section and we'll make sure that you get a copy of my cheat sheet and a how-to video. But the thing that I think was the most surprising to me as I put people through this reset was how many people noticed that their pain levels started to come down. So I want to share a little story of something I've been working on with my own mother. She's almost 80 years old, and she has dealt with, in the last 5 to 6 years, chronic pain issues. It's been very surprising. This is a very healthy woman who's never had a lot of pain, and she started to get hip loss, where it was actually getting to a point where it was bone on bone. And she ended up getting surgery on her hip. And when she came out of the surgery, she went, what happens to so many of you, she went right on to pain medication and was up and down on pain medication for years, only to have her medical doctor tell her she needed to have another surgery on another hip. And I know a lot of you have gone through that experience where you do one surgery, pain medication leads to another surgery, and you're still not out of pain. And that's exactly what happened to my mom. And eventually she got to a point where pain medication wasn't even helping her pain in any way, shape, or form. And we finally got to this place where we had to look for alternative tools, some natural tools. And this is when we took her into doing more fasting. We got her off of all carbs. We changed her oils. We got her on some joint repair. We got her chiropractic care. Like, we totally flipped her world upside down. And with all of those tools combined, I am pleased to say she is off her pain medication, and her pain is down 70-75% to what it was when she was in the surgery and medication loop. So I know what you guys are going through when you have this pain that's not going away, and I'm hoping that my video today is going to give you some insight that you actually have some control. You can start to tap into some of these really cool techniques like fasting, and you can get yourself out of pain. So let me start by telling you that when we have pain in an area, especially if it's been there for a long time, it's not just a problem with that area. So let's use the low back, for example. If you have low back pain, you may walk into your medical doctor's office, you may walk into your chiropractor, your physical therapist's office, and they may actually x-ray you and go, yep, you've got a low back problem. Maybe you have a disc problem, maybe you've got something really serious going on in that low back. We would call that a tissue pathology, meaning there is a problem, a breakdown, a degeneration with this specific tissue. But what's happening, and many doctors are not realizing, is that the longer you stay in this pain mode, the longer you have this tissue pathology, these signals of pain go up into your brain and they start to change your brain. And what will end up happening is the more you perceive pain day in and day out, your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that is rational thinking, the part of the brain that helps you with time management, helps you manage goals, helps you regulate emotions, brings your immune system down, helps you with inflammation. This part of the brain gets shut off. And eventually you start operating from the midbrain, or a part of your brain called your amygdala. And the amygdala is programmed to detect threats. It's programmed to increase cortisol. It's programmed to spasm your muscles, and it's programmed to give you more pain in order to slow you down. So this cycle where you start off with a problem, and some of you, maybe it's a surgery that didn't get corrected, or maybe it's a broken bone, or maybe it's a pulled Achilles tendon. I don't know what it is, but there's some problem down in the body that keeps sending a message up to the brain, and the longer this message keeps getting sent up, the longer you perceive pain, the less likely you are now operating from your prefrontal cortex, and you're now operating from your amygdala, and you're in a fight or flight reaction. And this feedback loop with the amygdala will keep your pain constant. It will keep your pain going. So I can throw all the painkillers I want, I can do all the therapies I want to try to correct this tissue pathology, but I'm going to have to eventually make some change in the brain. And this is where fasting comes in. So I started to do a long list of this. If you're in my Reset Academy, we will be putting these studies on the Reset Academy. There are too many to go over in this video, but I want to talk about some of the big studies that I saw and found very easy to find. So if you're dealing with a chronic pain situation, I will put the links to these studies in my post here in this video. But please take these links to your doctor, educate your doctor on this, because there's not enough doctors that know about these studies and what fasting can do to stop this pain cycle. So when you've been stuck in that midbrain for a very long time, what happens is that your brain becomes, the dendrites in your prefrontal cortex, they actually wither away and they become more rigid. And the dendrites in your amygdala start to grow. So it just becomes easier and easier for you to be stressed. And it becomes easier and easier for you to have pain. And so what we're seeing, we call that neuroplasticity, or a lack of neuroplasticity, where your brain is not functioning in a cooperative, flexible way. So here are some studies that we saw. Here's a study done, and this was done in 2016. So out of the Journal of Pain, is the journal it came from, that you can actually improve the neuroplasticity, meaning you can bring yourself from the midbrain back up to this hopeful place. We can actually get the inflammation to go down. We can get that emotional stress to come down through intermittent fasting. So here's what, and I'm going to read you a couple of lines, because this is, I think, again, if you're watching me this long in the video, hopefully this is helpful to you and that you're dealing with pain or a loved one has pain. So changes in the brain are well documented, that there is a decrease in the gray and white matter of the brain, and that there's an alteration in the neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters keep you happy, by the way. And that what we're finding is that calorie restriction and intermittent fasting will actually start to enhance this part of the brain. It'll actually bring back the effectiveness of this part of the brain. And they're also finding that not only does it bring back the neuroplasticity of your prefrontal cortex, but that it also decreases your pain experience, slows down the aging process, and improves cellular functioning and reduces overall oxidative stress and cellular inflammation. So all from a 16 to 24 hour fast is what they did that measurement on. Okay? Another really cool study that I found. This was done in Italy. They actually found that there are receptor sites, that there is an analgesic, which is a pain-killing receptor site on the outside of cells that make up the sciatic nerve and nerves that extend down into your arms. And what they found is that this new receptor site is stimulated when you have pain such as sciatic pain, back pain, cervical pain. People have amputated limbs. One of the reasons why they still have that phantom pain is because these receptor sites are still being stimulated, and that they've actually now confirmed that you can take these receptor sites, and if your body is producing ketones, like in a ketogenic diet mixed with fasting, that you can actually start to lower pain by getting a ketone into that receptor site, so that pain, it'll shut off the pain mechanism. So again, I know this is really technical, but those of you that are working with a doctor who's helping you manage your pain, I am going to put these studies in there for you to take to them and ask them to work with you to see how you can start to shut off this feedback loop. We have a ton of studies done on how fasting and ketosis, the ketogenic diet, will lower inflammation. We see it in my clinic all the time, where we'll see that it starts to bring down CRP and homocysteine levels. I see it in people's blood work all the time. So there are a couple of really big takeaways I want you to have from this video. The first is I want you to see that pain is not just coming from your injured area. That pain, if it sticks around long enough, is coming from the brain. The second thing I want you to see is that if you've been in pain for a really long time, most likely you're operating from your midbrain, and you're in that fight or flight. The third thing I want you to see is that there's some really great ways to start to get you out of the fight or flight. Fasting is one, calorie restriction is one, intermittent fasting, as little as intermittent fasting, is a good way. They did some studies on 48-hour fasting, low-calorie ketogenic chiropractic. There's great studies coming out in New Zealand and Denmark showing us that one chiropractic adjustment will pull you out of that amygdala and put you back into that prefrontal cortex. The minute you're back in that prefrontal cortex, that pain dampens down. So make sure that you're working with somebody that's completing that whole cycle. Okay? So I know it's complicated, but I want you to see that the studies are there showing you that you have more control than you've been taught. My mom's a living example. We got her on my 15-day metabolic reset. Her pain's gone down even more than ever before. She's dropped a bunch of weight. She's off the medication. I see it in my clinic. You're going to, in order to attack pain from a natural standpoint, meaning you're to get yourself off meds, the opiate crisis is ridiculous right now. To get yourself off of that, to get this pain to go away for good, you're going to have to look at a multi-therapeutic approach, and that multi-therapeutic approach needs to include fasting. It needs to include ketogenic diet. I highly recommend it includes chiropractic. You look at the oils that you're eating that are inflammatory. When you put all of these pieces together, you are in control of that pain. The pain is not happening to you. You are not a victim of it. You have a way to break this cycle, and I wanted to take the time to give you the tools to understand that there's a bigger cycle here. So, as always, I hope that's helpful. Please, if it is, put helpful in the comment section so I know what you all are resonating with. If you want the 15-day metabolic reset, just put 15-day reset in there. I'll send you a link with our cheat sheet on there and a video on how to do the reset. If you want to know more about the group coaching I'm doing in my Reset Academy, go to my website, drmindypelz.com, look under Reset Academy, and you can see what we're doing there. But don't give up on yourself. Please do not give up on yourself. You can do it. You have the power within you. You just need to know these tools. Okay? From the bottom of my heart, I hope that helps.